a viewer asked about the Dell we looked at earlier, the T5400, and the question was, can you put an ordinary ATX, it's difficult to get open, can you put an ordinary ATX motherboard in this case? That is a very interesting question. I suppose you could. Let's have a quick look again at this. So as you can see, it's a highly integrated case. It's very proprietary in many ways, and some fairly unique design features, whether you like them or not. It's kind of quite custom. Things like the power, for example, if you were to use this power supply, it's got a lot of things built in. You know, the SATA connections, the floppy disk. If you look down there, that is a custom connection block for all of that, so that's proprietary. The connection to the ATX, hang on, let me see if I can show you. So down there, the ATX power connector, that's fine, but I couldn't find the auxiliary 4-pin power that you'd need. It's also got this other connector down there, which is very odd. Now, hang on, let me turn the light on so you can see what's going on. Yeah, it's got a custom power header which takes the power off to all of this stuff for the fans and everything else. So that's custom. Normal motherboards won't have that. But as I say, I can't find the auxiliary power connector. Normally there's like a 4-pin job that goes into the motherboard, but I can't find that. And it's not provided by this. So by the power supply, I mean, I'm pointing at it and you can't see. So it's tricky to answer the question. I would say, let's just move to a better shot. This tripod's all over the place. Hang on a minute, and that's all fallen and gone on. Maybe it's drunk after Christmas. Yeah, tricky to answer the question. I would say that you have the possibility of putting a ATX board in here. I mean, the spacing of the expansion slots, that's all fine. This is a massive power supply slot. There's no mounting screws on it. This is custom. It's a there's like a clip down there that this clips into. So I'm not sure how you'd positively mount a new one. It might just go straight in. It'd be an interesting project to do, but I can't help thinking there may need to be some customizations and modifications made to the case. If we have a look in here, so we move this back, all this stuff can stay. The chances are it's going to be okay. But then this fan here for the RAM, the airflow is interesting on this thing. So the big fan there sucks air in that way over the CPUs, and then it's drawn up through there, through this bit, through the, so it's sort of going this way up there, and then out over the hard drives. All right, so it's got an interesting path, and then it shoots out the back there. So it's sort of going this way, that way, and then up. The issue is that is absolutely massive. So there's no guarantee that any motherboard that would go in there would be able to fit. I think that's the main problem. So if you could replace the power supply with an alternative power supply, standard ATX power supply, that might fit. You could put the board in there, that might fit. I don't know about the standoffs and the screws. I'm not quite sure about that. You'd have to be very careful whether that's even possible. I wanted to do a follow-up video on this anyway. It's giving me the runaround, and there's this god-awful high-pitched noise which is making it very difficult to work on. I think it's got worse. I'm not sure what it is. It must be one of the fans, but I don't know which one it is. And it's kind of, well, in fact, to work on it, I've been using these because it's so absolutely deafening that after about 10 minutes you feel sick, which is not great. It's made it unpleasant to work on, I have to say. If I can fix that bit, then fine. I don't know, it's not working very well at the moment. I did a test on it and the memory all went a bit funny, but I don't know whether it's the memory, whether it's a dual CPU. I just don't know what's going on with it. You know, I'm sat there with the dual graphics cards, SLI loveliness, but I'm in a position where I can't install anything custom on it, any new OSs on it. Windows 7, Windows 8, so I'm a little bit stuck. Anyway, back to the original question. I think it's possible to do it, but I wouldn't spend much money on it because it's not guaranteed that it would work. What you might have to do, I'm not sure quite how you do it, but there's screws in the back of here. You might have to remove this whole thing, because if that's there, that is intruding a lot into this space. And you see how custom it is there. It, you know, it's only a few millimeters away from the CPU heat sinks. So yeah, without a chisel and a mallet, that might be tricky. But it'd be interesting to see whether that works. In fact, I've got an ATX board in storage, so I'm thinking that it might be an interesting project to get working. If I can't get this working, which would be a real shame, because it's like it is, you know, the ultimate you can get in this particular case. That was the point. I wanted it to be the best it could possibly be. You know, the maxed out CPUs, maxed out memory, maxed out GPU, all that stuff. But the motherboard's bitching about one of the slots. The memory might be a bit dicky, so you know, there's times when you have to cut your losses. So it might be actually that ultimately I have to remove this motherboard and put in an ATX board, a ATX power supply, and if I can get one with dual slots, I mean, I almost certainly can, then maybe it'll be, I don't know, it might be possible to do something, a Core Duo, something like that. I wouldn't want to go more modern than that. Certainly no iSeries stuff. Core Duo is probably the most, possibly a P4HT maybe. Yeah, so that might be possible. But as I say, I think all this stuff's going to have to come out. So that's probably going to have to be chucked, because I don't think it's going to fit. Anyway, that's a quick video. If the viewer that talked about this, I can't remember his name, it's over there somewhere, buys it and has success, then I would love to hear some feedback on that. That would be great. And maybe share some photos and whatever, because I think it'd be a very interesting project. Certainly this case would survive a nuclear assault, and I really like the idea that it's so robust. You know, it's built like a tank. It's ludicrously heavy. So whatever you do, don't stub your foot on that, because it will hurt.